Hi, welcome back to FilmStory Recap. Today I am going to explain a movie, Memories of Murder. The film is based on the true story of a serial murder case that took place from 1986 to 1991. The film starts from October 1986. This is Park Stu-man, a local detective who rapes a woman in a ditch near a field. Her hands and feet were tied with rope and she was murdered. Nearby, children are playing with grasshoppers. Park chases them away because the clues might be lost. Next, Park investigates local criminals. He takes photos of the suspects and collects them in a notebook. The next day, a woman is similarly raped and murdered elsewhere. Here he has got a foothold. While reporting this to his superior captain, Park sees a tractor coming. He tells them to stop, but the tractor's tires go over the tracks. Now even a trace of it is gone. Park had never dealt with such a serious case before. The police's investigative methods were questionable, and their forensic technology almost non-existent. Park says he has a way of identifying suspects through eye contact. The captain then showed two men, one of whom had raped the other's sister. There is an argument between them. He asks who is guilty in this. Park's response to this is not shown. In the next scene, Park's wife tells Park that a scarred mentally retarded boy named Baek Kwang-ho lives in the town when an old woman says she saw him follow the woman he murdered that night. He decides to interrogate him first. This is Baek Kwang-ho, a poor boy with mental retardation. He finds him and uses his eye contact method. Instinctively thinking that Baek is responsible, Park tries to beat the Baek and get confessions with the help of his partner Kwang-cho. Kwang-cho is pretty angry. He will investigate only after beating. This is Seo Tae-yoon, a detective from Seoul who volunteers to help them. When he calls a woman to ask for her address, she falls into the bush, afraid that he is a serial killer, misunderstands what he sees and attacks Seo when he tries to help her. Seo then reveals to Park that I am a detective. Park apologizes to him. Next scene, he arrives at the second murder and takes a photo of the trail with his backpack shoe. Park shows Pack the shoe and photo and tries to plead guilty, saying that they have evidence of your murder. Baek says I didn't commit murder. He then brings her to a forest and threatens the Pack while explaining how the murder is done. He says that if the woman is raped, she covers her head with a panty and dies from vaginal discharge. Park records this. When asked to go further, Baek says, how do I know you didn't go further? Cho then kicks him. The next night, Seo goes through the documents Park collected, understands that documents have been collected incorrectly. The next day, Seo looks at Baek's hands and thinks that he is so weak and scarred that he couldn't have committed such a great crime. Next is the scene of the murder, and Seo tells the captain about it. But the captain scolds Seo and leaves because the captain needs to finish this case soon. They pretend to show you how to kill. Then Baek's father comes. He stands next to the journalists and shouts that my son is not a mentally sound boy who would have committed this crime. Baek also shouts that he did nothing wrong. As a result, journalists put the blame on the boy and spread the news that the criminals are escaping. This puts more pressure on the guards. Next, they come to the scene of the first murder and see if they can find any clues. The captain then asks what the two murdered women have in common. Seo says not two but three girls. Seo says that we still haven't found the third woman, and what they have in common is that they were wearing red on the day of the murder and it was raining. And Seo asks some policemen from the captain to find the third girl, and with their help he finds the third girl as well. In the subsequent post-mortem examination, it is revealed that the killer has done the murder in a very subtle way so as not to find any clues. Later, Seo and Park clash at the dinner party. Then a lady policewoman dressed in red walks in the rain to catch the killer, but he didn't come here. Elsewhere, a woman is walking alone when she realizes she is being followed and runs away when the killer catches her. He kills the girl too. Now they have got the footprints of the master killer. Seo says the killer was dragged from that factory and killed here, so the killer must be a factory worker. Next, Park says that the killer must have removed all the hair from his body because there was not a single hair at the scene of the murder. Then a female police officer, Hwan Kyo-kei, realizes that the local radio station is always asked to play a certain song on nights of murders. Hwan says the song is being asked by mail. After the captain sends them to contact the radio station and investigate, Park tells the captain what I told him earlier about the hair remover. When you ask that you didn't do anything about it, the captain scolds the Park by saying that he is going to find out by pulling the pants of everyone there. When the sender asked for the bite at the Seo post office, they said they would put it in the trash that day. Seo searched the trash can but couldn't find the letter. Park continues to search for the killer but finds nothing. At the scene of the latest crime, Park and Cho investigate the way they know how. Seeing Seo coming, both of them disappear. Seo comes to investigate in a different way. When a local man arrives, Seo also hides. The local man pulls out his panties and masturbates in a woman's red underwear. Cho accidentally stepped on a tree branch, prompting the man to run. They chase after him. He works in a stone quarry where everyone is dressed in the same color and he blends into the crowd. Seo tries to find a way to get everyone's attention, but Park recognizes the man first by seeing him wearing a red undershirt. Despite already recognizing him, he acts like he's using his eye contact method once again, and Cho arrests him. Seo is surprised to see Park. Park and Cho continue their trick and brutally beat the man. Seo talks to a schoolgirl about a suspicious person and helps her put a band-aid on a wound on her hip. After discovering rumors surrounding the local school, Seo tracks down a girl who escaped the killer. The girl is afraid of Seo, so they get a confession with with Kwang's help. Kwang asks the woman if she saw the killer's face, and the woman says that she hid my face with her underwear so she couldn't see his face, and she says if I had seen his face, he would have killed me. The survivor learns that the killer's hands are remarkably soft. Seo decides that their suspect is not guilty because his hands are too rough. Angered that they've lost the suspense, Park fights with Seo until Kwon warns them that the same song the murderer requested is playing. They realize it's raining and arrive too late to find another woman murdered. Park and Seo and Cho all decide to work together. During the autopsy of the latest victim, they found pieces of what looked like a peach on the body. They traced the song using documents from the radio station to his address. They follow the tracks of a factory worker named Park Han-kyu, who heard about through a letter on the radio, and Han-kyu moved to the area shortly before the first murder. Detectives were initially unable to pin anything on him. However, Seo notes that his hands are as soft as the survivor he questioned earlier. Han-kyu begins to show discomfort when Seo offers the peaches and thinks he's found the killer. Before he can question her further, Cho loses control and hits Hyun-gyu, prompting their superior to ban him from the interrogation room. Park and Seo listen to Baek's previous confession to the previous murder. Seo points out that he speaks as if someone else did it, and that he knows the details of the murder because he witnessed it. They go to Baek's father's restaurant, where they find a drunk Cho. As people make fun of Cho on the TV, he breaks the TV and beats up everyone in the restaurant. Baek comes through and joins the fray, swinging a wooden plank at Cho's leg and accidentally piercing it with a rusty nail. Park and Seo chase Baek down to investigate, and Baek describes the killer. Park asks if he saw the killer's face and says yes. Park shows them a photo of the suspect. When you ask if this is the person you saw, he starts talking about something else. Then his father misunderstands and arranges a fight with the local people. Baek panicked and stood in the path of an oncoming train, where he was struck and killed. When Baek dies in the investigation, the pressure increases for them. Next, they find a trace of a sperm in the body, but since forensic technology was not available at the time, they had to send the sample to the US to confirm whether the suspected Hyun-gyu was the killer with DNA evidence. Park learns that Cho's leg must be amputated because a rusty nail caused tetanus, causing Park to feel guilty about including his partner and best friend. Seo tries to follow Hyun-gyu, but he faints and misses his chance. That night, Park's girlfriend is seen by an unknown figure in the shadows through the forest, but a younger woman passes by, who is instead captured and killed. Her body was found the next morning. Seo sees a band-aid on her waist and recognizes her as the same schoolgirl he befriended while investigating the murders. Enraged at the loss, Seo's frustration finally boils over, and he breaks down. He attacks Hyun-kyu until Park interrupts, bringing documents related to the sperm sample from America. However, the documents said the sample did not match Hyun-gyu's DNA. Seo yells that the documents are fake and that he knows Han-kyu is the killer. Park uses his eye contact method on the suspect, but realizes that he can't draw any conclusions like before. Sperm samples the train on the document and perishes. Seo tries to shoot the suspect, but Park stops him and lets Hyun-kyu go. In the end, the crimes remain unsolved. Years later in 2003, when Park Do-man, now a businessman, visits the scene of the first crime, he learns from a girl that the scene was recently visited by another, unknown man with a normal face. The girl asks the man why he is looking at the crater, and he says that he remembers something he did there a long time ago. Park, realizing this, seems to use his eye contact to spot the killer in the audience as he looks directly at the camera. This suggests that the killer could be one of us. The film ends with this. I hope you enjoy this video. Please like and subscribe for encouragement. Thanks for watching.